to Inside South Florida. Now, caring for a family member is one of the most meaningful and most challenging journeys a person can embark on. There are more than 63 million family caregivers in the U.S. balancing jobs, family responsibilities, and personal needs, all while providing unpaid care to loved ones. To make that journey a little bit easier, the Caregiver Action Network, or CAN, is launching the Plug Into Care campaign this November for National Family Caregivers Month. Here to tell us more is CEO of the Caregiver Action Network, Marvell Adams, and nurse educator Michelle Mongillo. Guys, welcome to Inside South Florida.
Thanks so much for having us.
Tell us, what is the Plug Into Care campaign, and how is it uniquely helping family caregivers?
So nearly 30 years ago, Caregiver Action Network lobbied successfully for the first National Family Caregivers Month. And so this November, like each November since then, is about providing information for caregivers that's easy to access and verified and resourceful for them. And so through nfcmonth.org, caregivers can reach out and find really at their fingertips the information they need in order to provide the support to their loved ones, but also being able to understand that whether you're supporting someone with incontinence needs, an individual navigating a rare disease, or a loved one that has Alzheimer's and dementia, all of the resources that we've gathered with over 80 not-for-profit partners have been put together at nfcmonth.org to make it accessible for caregivers and really make it easier for them to be in a support role for their loved one.
Caregivers often don't know where to turn for help. So how does this campaign make it easier to find resources and support?
It can be a really tough subject for families. And I wrote Caring with Dignity to provide a much needed resource for caregivers who may be taking care of someone that is suffering from incontinence. This resource provides guidance on a variety of topics, from dietary management to dementia strategies, fall prevention, traveling with incontinence, and even selecting the right incontinence product, which can be really confusing. And also equally as important is how to have that conversation with someone that you're taking care of about incontinence, because it can be really a tough subject to talk about.
Why did you write it, and what guidance does it offer for caregivers?
Well, incontinence historically has been a very taboo subject. It's really embarrassing and it can be life-changing. And as a clinical educator, I believe it's really important to bring the subject of incontinence to the forefront and open up that conversation about a very common problem that affects millions. And Caring with Dignity as a resource and partnering with organizations like Caregiver Action Network, I think can really be a path towards destigmatizing the subject of incontinence.
Well, how can tools and community support ease stress for caregivers juggling so much?
So our goal always is at Caregiver Action Network to promote information in a really easy, accessible way. And so when caregivers have that question of where do I start, we really want them to feel there aren't barriers to them finding support and information for supporting their loved one. And so at nfcmonth.org, they can find a whole cadre of subject matter and information that can help them not only support their loved one, but also find resources for their own mental health needs and what they may be going through as a caregiver. And so at each step of the way, whether it's a tap, a click, or a conversation away, caregivers can find the resources they need at nfcmonth.org throughout November and beyond.
Thanks so much, guys, for what you do, and of course for hopping on to Inside South Florida.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.